Welcome to New Reality Awakening, where seekers become finders and stories become transformations. Each week we open the doorway to a new vibration, sharing wisdom, healing, and awakening from the visionaries of the New Reality TV platform. We are New Reality Awakening. Karen.
Yes.
You have always been the angel of this show.
Ooh, right? I like that.
Graceful, radiant, endlessly patient with me.
What do you want?
Not to mention
something.
Not to mention the fact that it's been confirmed by multiple sources that you are an actual angel walking this earth, right? Today, things are about to get celestial level awkward.
Oh.
Because we're being joined by another actual angel. Like wings on vacation, halo undercover, divine mission on earth kind of angel just like you. The difference is that she knows that she's an incarnated angel. So brace yourself, Karen, because this might be the first time that you are the second most angelic person in the room. She's had near-death experiences, chats with the multiverse, and plays in the quantum field like it's a trampoline park, and somehow still manages to keep her divine sense of humor intact, which is perfect for the show. We're peeling back the layers of reality, and, spoiler alert, they are holographic.
Ooh, I like that.
So if you thought this episode was going to be subtle, you might want to recalibrate your vibration because an angel's hammer is about to drop on your collective heads, and this episode of The Skeptic Metaphysicians is one that you will never live down.
Oh boy.
My name is Will.
And I'm Karen.
And unlike Mulder and Scully,
we both want to believe.
So we've embarked on a journey of discovery.
We've talked to people deeply entrenched in the spiritual and metaphysical world.
We've thrown ourselves into weird and wonderful experiences. I even joined a coven of witches.
And wait, you joined a coven?
Yep, all in the interest of finding something.
Anything.
That will prove that there's something beyond this physical,
three-dimensional world we all live in.
This is The Skeptic Metaphysicians. What if I told you that the secret to transforming your entire day starts before your feet even hit the floor in the morning? Hey there, I'm Will from The Skeptic Metaphysicians and New Reality TV, and I want to invite you to reclaim your mornings with our free email mini course, The Power of Mindful Mornings. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, if my morning doesn't start on the right foot, my entire day becomes much more challenging than it really needs to be. So, over the last few years, we've developed a way to ensure that my morning routine helps me set the day off on this mythical right foot. In just a few minutes a day for 6 days, you'll discover simple, soul-nourishing practices that help you reduce stress, boost your energy, and tune into your inner wisdom before the chaos of the world even begins. We're talking breath work, energy resets, intention setting, so much more, all practical, powerful, and easy to start using right now. Now, this isn't about becoming some Zen monk overnight. It's about creating a sacred pause so that you can stop reacting and start living on purpose. And did I mention it's totally free? Tap the link in our show notes, join the movement, and meet your morning with mindfulness. Believe me, if you follow these practices, your morning reset is going to set you up for such a beautiful experience for the rest of your day. It's a great way to keep your mind on your spiritual awakenings while you move through the day in a 3D world that really tries to help you to forget that you are in a spiritual awakening process. So go ahead and tap that link in the show notes, join the movement, and meet your morning with mindfulness. Because how you start your day is how you live your life. Hey there, I'm Will.
And I'm Karen.
Welcome back to another halo-adjusting, wing-fluttering, perception-shattering episode of The Skeptic Metaphysicians. Today's episode promises to be a multi-dimensional joyride into the layers of reality itself. Our guest is an actual angel incarnate.
Ooh.
Yes, an angel in a human body, Karen, who's here on a mission to help us remember who we truly are. From childhood encounters with ghost children and celestial choirs to near-death experiences that reawakened her gifts, Rachel has always lived with one foot in this world and one in the beyond.
Nice.
Now, as a professional channel, she communicates with angels, ascended masters, high vibrational ETs, and loved ones on the other side, all while cracking jokes and keeping things surprisingly grounded. She's here to show us how you can connect with the divine, even if you're not sure that it exists, and how our so-called reality may just be one holographic layer of a much grander cosmic puzzle. I am beyond excited to welcome to the show Rachel Corpus. Rachel, how are you?
Oh, I'm all sorts of things today. How are you?
I'm a little afraid to ask what the all sorts of things might be.
Ooh.
So,
Well, I'm excited after that
I
introduction, all of it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Right.
Let's go.
yes. So bar is set relatively low. So
I don't know. I mean, that intro, I feel like I need to go like put on a sparkly dress or something and put on a push-up bra. Holy shit.
well, I'm on board for the dress. I'm not sure about the push-up bra though, because
Yeah, you're not allowed to be on board for that.
no, I'm not.
Not allowed.
Well, we'll just keep it as planned.
All right, Rachel, this is going to be a perfect fit, I think, on our show.
Thanks.
We're excited to have you. No, it's an absolute pleasure.
Mhm.
Let's get right to it, right? An angel, like I can almost see your wings coming out, sprouting out of your back. How did you find out? How did you learn for a fact that you are an angel on the world? Or did you just always know?
Well, good question. And I am a skeptic myself. I ask myself, am I a skeptic or am I a realist or am I a jerk? All three.
Sounds like she's talking to me.
Well, I was one of those little kids who could see spirit, and a lot of children are that way. Cool.
Mhm.
When I was 4, my family was in a car accident, and I had my first near-death experience.
Oh,
And
wow.
prior to that, what was happening in my life was I was able to see dead people and what I identified as angels because I was a little Catholic girl. And when I'd go to Mass, angels were appearing to me looking like biblical angels with wings and halos because that's what was in my belief system. And so what I know about angels now is they show up however we expect them to show up. So they were showing up like that to me. And when I was taken out of my body because I had serious damage to my body, I was seeing angels around me that I had been seeing in Mass. And so I zipped out of my body and I was hearing my own voice, my 4-year-old voice, and this kind of screechy, scratchy voice, which is this girl right here. I'm like, who's that? And they said, oh, that's you. That's your consciousness. And I was seeing all of these other angels around and they said, well, we're going to go on a field trip today. We're going to take you home. And they took me to the seraphim realm and they said, this is who you are. And okay, this sounds like a movie, right? But it was very strange because the 4-year-old in me was like, well, what do you mean? They were saying you could stay here, you could go home. And I said, well, if I stay here, can I still play house? Can I still dig for worms? I was very committed to being a 4-year-old. But then my consciousness came in and I was also very aware of what they were telling me. I was starting to remember what they were showing me. Oh yeah, that's where I hang my jacket. Oh, I remember these celestial hallways. They were showing me the heavenly dimension is an energetic field, yes, and also can be a field of matter when we want and need it to be, and that I exist there with many other beings, extraterrestrials and angelic beings, and that when I'm not in this tailored suit that I've created, this is where I live. And they walked me around, introduced me to other angels, and they said, your body's being worked on right now. We don't have a lot of time. You can stay here or go back, and this is your mission. And they showed me what my mission was. They showed me some things about what would be happening on Earth, both in my personal timeline and in the greater world timeline. And when it came time for the choice, I don't remember making a choice. I remember going into my 4-year-old self and not wanting to make my mom sad. And as soon as that came into my consciousness, I was back into my body. I remember this near-death experience in great detail because of my higher consciousness. I don't remember this as a 4-year-old because I don't have a lot of childhood memories. I don't. But this one is tight because I was in my consciousness. I was in my angel body. That was the first time that I was told that I was an angel. But my life has been a duality of, that can't be right. I'm not worthy of that. That is bullshit. No way. I don't want that. Okay, let's do it, God.
And I'm assuming that's where you're at now, is that a let's do it, God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I wouldn't say that is, now I would say that my frequency, my baseline frequency is very, very high. And I would say fifth dimensional. What I've learned about the fifth dimension is that it contains a spectrum. In the fifth dimension, I still can experience my personal depression. I can be in depression. I can have arguments with my husband. I can be present with my children when they're going through their stuff. I don't experience that as going back into the third dimension and wallowing in that. That to me is still fifth dimension.
Yeah, just a regular human body experience that everyone experiences, whether they're 5D or 3D or 7D or 15,000D, right? If you're on this world, you're going to have a physical experience. That's where all that comes from. It makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Now, do you remember, after your near-death experience when you were 4, did you move on from that point with full memory of what had happened? Or did this come back to you when you were older? Because at 4 years old, I don't remember any dang thing.
I remember a couple things.
Well, that's because you're an angel.
Yes, as an angel, we're constructed a little bit differently. So,
See?
Yeah, you remember this. I'm sure you've experienced this. The strange gift of the car accident was my brain was damaged, and so this is not scientifically backed, but the way my angels explained it, because I also have 2 guardians with me who are, sometimes I jokingly call them my coworkers. But they've really walked me through this my whole life. The way they've explained it to me is that the part of my brain that I didn't need anymore made space for my growth. And so the parts that I couldn't use anymore for academics, I started to, I think, really use that part of my brain to remember all of my other lifetimes, to be able to move into the vibration of the future timelines, to remember my near-death experiences with the fidelity that they were shown to me, to do all of those angelic things. So yes, I was able to remember, but also as I grew, I'm still a human. I have my ego. So my job was to work in my own timeline. Let me say that better. To work on my shit so that I didn't layer in, okay, that happened, but I was also dealing with all my own stuff. So I need to remember it the way it happened and not the way I think it happened. Does that make sense?
Right. 100%. Yep. And in fact, many times I've mentioned that I believe the brain is just a filter.
Yeah.
If we were able to fully comprehend who we are at large, we would not survive it. So our brain acts as a filter to get us to the point where we can actually deal with the crap that we can actually deal with. And so we don't remember the grander part of who we are. Your near-death experience, I would assume, shifted that filter a little bit. So now you've got a more direct line to these kinds of things. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, we're here to remember our divinity. We're here to remember that we are not. This is my mission. We're here to help each other remember that we're not separate from love. We're not separate from the source that created us. That's why we come here, and we come here in the costumes that we designed, whether we designed ourselves to be in a tree or a beetle or a person or wind. That separateness is the joke. But as we remember, we don't remember too much, because if we remember too much, well, then we're off course. We only remember what we allow ourselves to remember, even when it feels like too much. Sometimes it's not too much. Even if you feel overwhelmed, stick with it.
It's like that video we just watched with Bashar, who says that, like, I suffer from migraines. And they said that people who suffer believe that as their vibrational rate increases, they expect things to get easier, but it doesn't. It actually gets more challenging because you can handle
you
more.
can understand it. Yeah.
Because you are ready. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't want.
That's the opposite of what you wanted to hear.
I want a refund.
And also, when you are in tune with your vibrational frequency, you can move it as a dial. So even though you are more in tune with vibrational frequency and you can accept more, you are also in control of your frequency. So you can say, all right, frequency, here I am at 100%, but I just want McDonald's today. So I'm going to tune down at 2. And that's my sovereignty. That's what I want today. I am not downplaying my sovereignty. I'm not less than. This is my choice.
Right.
We're in control.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I think my dial's out of control.
Is it broken?
I have no
perfect control.
The numbers are rubbed off.
I've got no control of my dial. Yeah, it's like, am I on the top level? Am I on the bottom level? I don't know. Yeah.
I have to just make
probably. You've incarnated so many times, the dial's like...
Maybe. It's a little... Yeah, it's
just one quick little aside to this that I have to mention, because I really appreciated how you said, you called our bodies a tailored suit or a costume. I have such issue with people calling it a meat sack because it is actually this wonderful tool that enables us to get through this lifetime to experience it. Without it, we couldn't, obviously. So we have to revere it, even if we don't like how we look. It's more than just a meat sack. That just I cringe every time I hear that.
I do too, and it's come out of my mouth a couple of times. I have said it, and when I say it, I can feel my body go, "Oh, why did you say that?" Yeah, I don't. It doesn't align with me either. I get it, but I don't like it, and I don't like it. And the other thing that I noticed is when I started to talk about the body differently, I noticed that my body was able to heal itself. When I was calling it a meat suit and it was resonating more like a carcass, if I was not feeling well, it had the resonance of illness. But when it's something that I created, well then, okay, I can embellish it. Okay, put some lipstick on that. Okay.
Right, put a little pocket square in there. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. No, I love that. Yeah. Okay. So it's not very often that we actually have an aware angel, incarnate angel with us on the show. We have an angel constantly, but she's not really aware of it, or she's refusing to acknowledge the fact until anyway. But so it's not usual that we have it. Now that we have an angel amongst us that is awake, we got to go cosmic. Right? We got to ask the cosmic questions. You mentioned that reality is like this holographic thing with many layers. Let's dive into that. What? Huh?
What does that mean? To put it in other words.
All right. Well, the existence that we live in is made of haptic feedback. And if we were to put that into Archangel Gabriel, I'm going to ask you to come and kind of scoot in with me in my chair and work with me here. Okay, so this hurts my Rachel brain. This hurts my ego brain. But every time you think of something or need something, it shows up right before you need it. And you can feel it in your body. Because the hologram that we have created as a collective consciousness, as little sparks of God, or with God with skin on, we made it all together. And what we decided is, if we need a place to sit, we're going to have that. If we need a place to live, we're going to have that. But what it actually looks like, this is the part that hurts my brain. When you drive away from your house, it's not there anymore. When you get ready to touch the apple, it's not there until you touch it. Everything is haptic and experiential. That's the holograph. We believe it's so firm that it looks and feels firm, but it is not. Everything is made of frequency. Everything. Everything is made of energy and frequency. And it all comes from the main frequency source, which is source. And if we look at what that stuff is, we could call it vibration. We could call it loosh. It's all whoosh. It's all energy. It's all pliable. And when we're not stuck in this, albeit beautiful tailored suit, but what this does is it We all chose to come in and be limited in our abilities because it was going to be fun. It's like our internship. But when we're not in this, we know how to work with that energy, and we're not in a limited holograph. But we really are in something that is, people call it a matrix, but it's a haptic holograph.
And for people who are listening who might not really kind of get haptic, if you have an iPhone and you hit the home button, you feel it push down and then your screen changes.
Yeah.
If you turn that off, that if you unplug your iPhone, if it's dead, if it's turned off, you realize you can't push anything.
Yeah, we live in a touch
That's like
screen.
haptic. That feeling is made by energy.
Right.
We live in a touch screen. We live in energy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. And everything is constantly responding back to you because we are connected to literally everything. Our brain, our consciousness is connected to everything. So all the little fuzzies on this microphone, before I knew this, I thought that this was an inanimate object. So I would look at it and say, oh, I'm done with this. I'll just throw it away. Everything on here is alive. Everything, you guys. Everything has a consciousness. Now, I'm not going to name it. Hey, Lucy, how are you doing today? No, it's not that. But when I'm done with it, I can say, bless you and thank you. What would you like to do now? And I may get a message that it wants to be donated or it wants to be thanked before it is recycled or put in the trash. And what that does is it sends energy out and back in. So the next thing that I purchase or I'm gifted is the next thing that's in the best, highest timeline for me.
This is very strange. I should be used to this, but I'm not. It still blows me away when it happens. This is the second time in 2 days I've heard that thought process. I just listened to a podcast yesterday, School of Greatness, Lewis Howes. Mm-hmm. He actually talked about when he spoke to his friend Ken Honda, who we've had on the show.
Yeah, happy money.
He says that every time he gets money, he asks it, what do you want me to do with you? Do you want me to put you into savings? Do you want me to spend you? Do you want me to give it to someone else who might need you? What do you want me to do? He speaks to his money, and money tells. Do you?
Yes, and my money is female. I used to think that my money was male because I had a weird attachment to it. And so I just changed the relationship. And so I asked the money, could we have a different friendship? Could we be softer together? And I give my money a break. I give my money sabbaticals and retreats. I tuck my money into bed for an hour, like a week. And in that hour, I don't buy anything. I don't shop. I don't pay any bills. I don't check my email because my email is business oriented. And when I tuck my money in, I say to my money, precious one, dear friend, what I'd like you to do if you feel like it is that I want you to pay attention to how the energy of God moves. I want you to watch it because when I watch, it runs like a waterfall, like Niagara Falls. It never goes empty. It replenishes because it's love. And so I'll ask my money to watch that and I'll say, emulate that. And then as you rest, feel free to send me any messages of what I can do for you. And what I usually get back is the money will say, give me permission to multiply.
So a question, like do you pull out a $10 bill and you just talk into it? Or is it just more of an...
I do. I hold it. Or if I get a check, I'll say, how was your trip? Who held you before? I talk to it like it's a child. Now, there's a little part of me that's like, I feel so dumb doing it.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that because I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's the same way if I talk to my plant, I'm like, are you really hearing me? Is anybody? And I'm thinking like, I have people on the other side who are like, if there's anybody watching me right now, they got to think that I'm a major Looney Tune. I don't care. I do not care because it works and it's true.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so getting back to the money, how would you work with, people get direct deposits all the time and we're using the cards and we don't really actually physically see the money anymore.
It's energy. So you can hold the idea, you can write it on a piece of paper, you can code it onto your arm. You could write, Gabriel, help me with this, love. He says, why not write, money, you're my precious friend, right on your arm because your life force energy is there. It's right on your veins. Why not take a bill that you have and instead of seeing it as a bill, add some zeros and say to the bill, thank you, but I don't feel like having anyone own me in this lifetime. So let's change the energy. I'm going to give you a different assignment. Now, you're still going to pay the bill because you're on Earth and you're a responsible person. But what this energy of the document does is it gives your money, the energy, permission to reroute itself. So even if you're just in an energetic system where you're just paying with debit cards and automatic, you find a way to make it work because it's all energy. It's all haptic. Remember, we're in a holograph, so there's nothing physical. There is nothing physical. We've made that up. This is why when we die, we still talk to each other.
Right. I think I've found, finally, the tattoo I'm going to get on my body. Head to toe dollar signs.
Oh, gee.
So I can just look myself in the mirror and talk to my money.
So then only on the front.
No, maybe backwards money on my back.
I think you should too talk about it because you should see like what parts of him do you always need to look at? Like,
well, that's
maybe
true.
it should be the
How about right here.
What she might want to see the dollar signs.
I don't know.
All right. No, so it's super interesting concept, and it's the second person I'm hearing say that in 2 days. So it's a little bit of a bell for me. So all I need is a third time, universe. I need one more time, and I will know that is sure my truth.
Person, this tailored suit, very handsome tailored suit sitting next to me,
boy,
is constantly saying, "Okay, universe, just one more time." And the universe is like, "This is the 475,000th time."
3 times before I'll do it.
See, 3 times the charm. You get it 3 times. Give me the third time, and then I'll know. Yeah, and I'll know that it's my truth. That's how I gauge what's right for me and what's not.
Okay.
So I need the third time, universe. Here you go. Otherwise, I ain't talking nothing.
I just need it once, but strong. It's
right.
Like, okay.
Well, that might be why I keep getting the 2x4 to the head by the universe.
No, that's me. No. Okay.
All right. Well, you work in the quantum field.
Yes.
Right. So we talked about holographic, and what you're talking about in terms of the holographic universe makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways from the quantum mechanics perspective, right? Everything is in superposition. That kind of explains why the multi-universal causality of it all, because any particular thing could potentially happen. The whole thing about if a tree falls in the woods, no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, the answer in your case is no, right? Because it doesn't exist.
That's right.
Okay? So then, and it's cool to think about that way, but there are more than one person that lives in this house. So when I leave, do they take off too? Do they no longer exist also? Or is it just
We're
material
in their own timeline. So your haptic feedback is yours. You have your own matrix. You have your own, and it overlaps with the person next to you. And this is the law of free will. So when we constructed this beautiful holographic matrix, it is a web and we overlap each other. This is why when people pass, sometimes you can hear them say, hey, because they're still overlapping onto ours. Or we get residual hauntings because they're still overlapping onto ours. So at this point, we don't have one solid timeline where there's just one sovereign being walking around, stomping around. We're just watching one movie. We have an infinite amount of movies playing, and it's all of us. So when you change yours, you're watching it from your perspective. That's your haptic feedback. That's your holograph. And because we are in a collective, shared, collaborative community, we're able to see it for each other. So let's say you don't pick up your socks, your wife's going to notice it. Let's look at it this way. We have our personal holographs that can overlap into everyone else's because we've committed to free will. So what I love about that is I have sacred contracts with my children, with my husband. And so my growth affects their growth. There's emotions in this. It's not just technical. It's also spiritually and emotionally based. And so even though you might assume that a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, if someone else is right there, their timeline can also be witnessed by someone else and affect it because of quantum entanglement. If we get really technical, free will affects that, and a whole bunch of things that I think are above my pay grade.
You're an angel. How possibly higher can it go?
There's just some things I don't understand. And I am in the seraphim realm. So really what my job description is I prepare people for their incarnations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why did you make me fat?
You did it, and you're not fat. You did it.
Yeah, but you were going to prepare me.
Your blueprint. I have access to your blueprint.
Do you?
Oh.
That's part of what I do as a seraphim. So when we talk about things like your matrix, what that includes are your personal choices from all of your lifetimes, including this one, and why you chose those and how it serves you today. So when we talk about your question about like what happens in your life and is it noticed by other people? Yes, it is, because when you chose your body type, you chose it because in other lifetimes, you've always been the warrior or the protector. And in this lifetime, you didn't choose to do that, but your body is still housing that. Your body is still creating something very much like an armor because you knew before you came into this body that sometime in this timeline, there would be an integration of other planetary beings coming into this earth, and that you would be choosing a partner and other soulmates in your soulmate group that you would not need to protect this time, but you would be helping to advocate for and empower. And that as you had a chance in this lifetime to not just stand at the door with a sword or a rifle and protect while perhaps Karen was making the potions at the cauldron like she was in other lifetimes. Well, you stood at the door to make sure she was safe. This time, in this lifetime, you get to turn in and actually participate. So you're not really the skeptic, and you're certainly not behind. You've been doing something different in the other lifetimes. You have been watching, they're saying you've been watching the fields to make sure there's no predators. You've been the warrior. So when we look at your question about why this body, this is your armor. And you chose it kind of assuming, well, I need to have some sort of protection in case I need it. But the soothing balm there is there won't be any protection needed. And you could start to tell your body, hey, calm that down. I want to create a different shape now because I don't need this armor here. I don't need it here. I don't need to save for later. You are an endomorph. Look up what that means.
My computer IT department won't allow me to look up words like that. Sorry.
I don't know what it means. I don't know. But they said look up endomorph. It'll match another lifetime.
Changing from the inside.
I don't know.
So like exoskeleton.
Endomorph. It's something that served you in another lifetime and you brought it with you. But that's something that we can see in your blueprint, that you chose it both to help you and also something that you're growing out of because you don't need it anymore. And see, when you ask me about the funny timeline question and how it kind of collaborates with other people, see, you and Karen, since you're soulmates, she has access to that blueprint as well, not necessarily in detail, although you could access it in meditation, but she's going to feel it. So every time you say something negative about your body, she doesn't have to say, you look fine. She can say something deeper like, well, talk to it. She can she can do energy work. She can help reroute that track for you because you, as a sovereign being, have already chosen to reroute it. If you had chosen, well, this is my lot in life, this is the way it is, your body would say, no, this is the suit. This is the this is the meat suit. You would be in a meat suit versus something that is actively waiting to create.
So I need to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
And turn to my partner in crime.
Yes.
And say, how valid is that?
Which part?
Everything she just said. How much do you feel that resonates with you? About me?
About you?
Yeah.
Oh, God, absolutely.
Okay. Because if I said if I said it, people would be like, oh, yeah, he's just saying that. But you just flipping nailed me.
I mean, he's the most protective person I've ever known.
Like nailed me. And I've never known this about me until you just said that. And it makes such perfect stinking sense. It makes me very angry.
I don't anymore, but I used to give him such a hard time. Like at restaurants, he wants to sit facing the door. He wants to know who's coming in.
Yep.
Like all of these different ways that he's just always been very protective.
Yes.
And you used to hate how independent I was when we first got together.
Not that I hated it, but I wanted to be a partner and be able to. I wanted you to be able to
protect me.
I wanted you to be able to lean on me to allow me to help you. But that's a totally different conversation. But that's amazing.
That is amazing.
So, first of all, thank you for that.
Of course, my pleasure. It's wonderful to see into your timeline because you've always worked together. This is a really interesting way in this lifetime how it shows up. It's very cool.
Yeah. It is very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we agree. We talk about that all the time. Well, is this something, so you just read the blueprint, but can you look into what's coming also? Or is it just...
Always. I don't always like it. And sometimes I don't see it on purpose, but it's shown to me. That's happened my whole life.
So...
What would you like to know?
I don't know.
That is a loaded question.
I want to know things because it can be scary.
Yeah,
let's start with a disclaimer that the future is fluid. We have when the angels say that we have free will, let's define that first. Free will is a great gift that allows us to both, our angels we each have guardian angels. Those guardian angels, they cannot get in the way of our free will. They help to keep our pre-life choices, like our blueprint, they keep that in our mind and in our heart, in our higher conscious and our subconscious. They help remind us of it. So that if something goes like really off kilter of our free will, they kind of bring us back. They can do that kind of stuff. But when we look at the future, there are things that they cannot change for us. Like if someone in our soulmate group or if we have a teacher or something that abuses us, that's their free will and it can really change our course. So sometimes when we look in the future, if it's really far ahead, that can drastically change because we don't know what's going to happen in that person's future by the time we get there. So I do want to say that because free will, I love Archangel Michael because he can be so spicy. He says free will's a bitch.
It is.
He'll put his sword in and say, free will's a bitch. And I'll go take a shower.
Yeah. At least he's got that sword to protect himself. We got nothing. No, we got you.
Okay, so I have a question. And it's more of an esoteric sort of...
So you don't know future stuff?
No, this is future.
Oh, okay.
But it's all about me this time.
Okay, good.
Okay, so when I was, so Will talks about people that have said these things about me. And when I was in college, I remember having this dream. I was at a girlfriend's house and I fell asleep and all of a sudden it was just pitch black. Like you can't see your hands in front of your face black. And I could hear like this... And I started focusing. I'm like, hello? Is someone there? And then I heard this... She's not ready yet. And it was like this whoosh. And I woke up and I couldn't even sit up because I had no strength. And since then, I've had a few dreams, beautiful, very interesting. Things happen a lot in dreams. But as far as like having an actual knowing, will I ever have that knowing?
Okay. And I have your permission to look, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And the real question is, they want you to think about what is the method that you want the knowing to, how do you want the knowing to come to you? Because I'm looking in the future, but let's also look back for a moment. Mm-hmm. The way it came to you in other timelines was by force once or twice, there would be an emperor or a father figure, an authority figure that would say, we need to know now. And so your gifts you had to squeeze them out to help someone. And it's not going to be that way this time. So you will come to your knowing through peace in your own timeline. So you get to create an agreement with the universe, with your God, your guides, that when this comes to you, it is in complete peace and love, which is your vibe anyway. On your best day, somebody on the other side said, and they laughed, on your best day. It was a man. It was like a...
Spicy.
Yeah. And then there's also more extraterrestrial stuff coming for you in this lifetime, and they want you to get through... It doesn't really feel like fear to me. It's not fear. It is feeling through the different frequencies of the different beings. And the way they show it to me, it's a funny way they show it to me. It's like, did you get the JCPenney catalog when they used to print it when you were little and you'd look through I'm looking through a catalog and I'm going through like the lawn section feels like this. Feel that. Then go to the toy section and go to the beauty section. They're saying every extraterrestrial gang, they said gang, you work with has a different frequency. And right now you're feeling everyone as, y'all come, I'll help you. And they said, we want to work with you more as individual. They said gangs, which to their, I said define, and they said it'll be smaller groups because you work on committees. No, councils. Sorry, wrong. Councils. And then I'm asking if there's an event. And they said, no, you didn't ask for an event to wake you up. It's cool, calm, collected over a course of time. So it's more about you building practices that feel good to you. And you're awake when they happen. It's not a lot of, I woke up and this happened. It's, you wanted to be conscious for it without psilocybin and stuff like that, like really conscious. Not that you can't do pot and stuff like that. It would be fine, but you wrote in your blueprint that you want to be fully aware.
So once again, holy crap. She's always been concerned about losing control. She always wants to be aware at all times. That's why she hasn't done the psilocybin or the ayahuascas or anything like that, because she doesn't want to lose that control.
Wow, you didn't write it in.
Right. And on the rare occasion that an entity comes through her, I have said how many times it was a different energy.
Yeah.
It's a different energy each time. It's not the same entity came through you. You are scaring me, Rachel.
I have that effect on people.
Yeah, I could see why. Wow, that's incredible. Nice job. Not often that we are blown away by someone who, when they say something, and you just blew me away. So, I love her. Okay, so that is a future thing. We won't burden you with any more future stuff because the audience. Well, but the audience might get bored. Like, well, okay.
Yeah, okay.
But they're like,
all right, move on.
It's always about Will and Karen. It's always about them. What about me? Okay, so let's talk about them for a second. Right? Some of the people are tuning in to the show, whether they're listening to it or watching it. They, a lot of times, come because they are seeking answers. They don't know what the answers are. They may not even know what the questions are. But they know that so at least we give them a place for them to get the questions asked without fear, because this is a very comfortable space.
And
a lot of
I disagree. Please do it, people.
Yeah.
I won't even read it unless you want me to. Disagree. This is a safe container for it.
Yes, definitely. So here's the question that I have for you, because I've heard it many times. A lot of people who come to the show don't really even know what they believe. And one of the biggest question marks out there is the G word, right? God. What if people come to this space and they don't even know whether God is real or not? How can you answer them?
Oh, wow. That was a great question. No one's asked me that before.
Well, there you go. Welcome to the show.
God is real. And I want to tell you that when I have meetings on the other side, we often meet with representatives of God. And when I ask why that is, because it kind of frustrates me. Like, if God is such a big deal, where's God? And the answer I get is God is made of extreme energy. And we are able to connect with God in the way that we can. So our energy God matches our energy. I said it wrong. I made it like we connect to God. God is always connecting to us. And we've been told, connect to God, connect to God. But it's really, God is always reaching out to us. But God is energy. God doesn't make decisions. God isn't personified. Honestly, God is energy. And what I have been shown, and when I've talked to God, it's through representatives. The Buddha, Muhammad, Buddha's cousin Ananda, Jesus, representatives from across the world, from across time, Thoth. And it's not that God is not present. It's that God is so present that there is no ego. And God's like, okay, how can I make this make sense to you? Okay, here's another one. Here's another one. All right, here's a bird. I have never seen God as a man on a cloud because that doesn't work for me, but it might work for somebody else, because when I work in hospice or I'm crossing people over, I'm working with the dead, I always ask them, how did you see God? Hardly ever the same answer. And some of them say, I didn't see God at all. I don't think there is God here. Fair enough. How did you feel? I felt love. Okay. But no one has ever turned away. That's the thing. No one is turned away, and there is no hell. That's the other thing. There are layers of the afterlife that are there for healing, and the healing can be brutal because it matches our frequency. Like if you hurt people, you're going to have therapy that will help you work through that. But there's no God source that punishes or says you can't come in here. That would be decision making. And that is a human layer that we put on God. That is a religious God. And God is not religious. Angels are not religious. We're not religious. We're not bound by rules. We are spirit.
So there's no judgment.
There's no judgment. There's no personification. It is energy. And if we take this a step further, we as people, we're not, like I'm crazy, guys, when you listen to this, but we're not people. Nobody here on earth that I've met is human. I've never met a human. I have never met a human. If you unzip your human coat, every being I've met is from a different planetary system, from heaven. I've never met a human. And when I look deeper, I see the God spark. No matter what they're going through, if I'm visiting and they've done a heinous crime, I can always see the God spark. I've always seen God in every single rock, person, horror movie.
One of the things that shocked me the most when I read Conversations with God was when God said, so that you know, Hitler is in heaven.
Yes, I've spoken to Hitler. I speak to Hitler, and I speak to Archangel Lucifer a lot.
What was your first encounter with Hitler like? Was it unexpected, or were you just...
I asked.
I get it.
I was in high school, and I was reading Anne Frank, and I was questioning God. I didn't think God existed. And so in that moment in my life, I thought that the angels and the universe were working together. I thought it was more of a management system because of what I had been shown. I had been shown, well, this is your locker, this is your desk, and it was all very matter of fact. And I was really locked into that. And of course, I was going to high school, and you show up at 8 a.m. and you do this and you turn your homework, and it was all very transactional. And then we were learning about the Holocaust. And I was like, well, where's God? There's no God. How could God allow this? That's where I was. So then I was able to channel, of course. And so what I did was I asked Hitler if I could talk to him. He came through as a very pimply teenager who was abused in a very bad way, a very personal bad way. And he was saying that he was in his version of hell. And he told me that in college, I would read a book called Dante's Inferno. And he said that that is his experience, that everything that he did to people from childhood, hurting a squirrel, everything that he'd done, he is now experiencing, and that will be his eternity. But he is not absent from God. He has meetings with the God source every day, but the God source he meets with are the representatives of the people that he hurt. So I asked him if he thought it was heaven or hell, and he says, I don't know, but I'm told it's heaven.
Right. Because there is no hell, right? It's all heaven.
But he couldn't tell the difference.
So then, if it's healing,
yeah,
then why would it be eternity for him? Like, will he never heal?
That's where he was then. When I checked with him later as an adult, he caused so much. He's still in that loop. He will be, because I don't know if eternity is correct. That's what he said to me then, and he's still living out the war crimes that he committed. What I know about God's source is that You are never stuck in punishment because that's not God's way. All you have to do is be in the vibration of love, and there you are. There's your expansion, because the real meaning of the word heaven in Hebrew is expansion, mind expansion. So when you reach the frequency of love, when you match God, you remember who you are. It's not what we have been told where, God, can you come rescue me? It can be that if that's your belief system, but it is actually remembering of, this doesn't have to be my hologram. This isn't my hologram. This isn't my reality. I can do differently now. So when I've met with Hitler since then, he's not that pimply boy anymore. He's an elderly man, and he holds babies. He pets animals. He's different. He's in a different learning phase.
So it's like a self-imposed torment.
So maybe he has to undergo, once he realized and underwent these experiences, how horrible it was for all of the people affected. Now it's a matter of getting through that and forgiving yourself. And maybe that's something.
Yes, and realize that when he was undergoing that, he was in a holographic dimension that he did not know he was Hitler. When he was in that, if he was a little girl who was being hurt in a concentration camp, he fully thought he was a little girl for those years. He didn't think he was Hitler. Like, okay, today I'm going to be a little girl for therapy. No. His angels, this is his therapy. His angels created a dimension for however long, because there's no time in that dimension, in that heaven dimension. We're talking about the fourth dimension here.
Yeah.
They created something where he's fully immersed in what he created, what he's responsible for, either hands-on or decision, what he's responsible for. And he's still in that loop. But I don't see him directly in that all the time, because there's he showed me, he plays There Is a Balm in Gilead, this hymn, and it's playing in the background, and he's humming to it. He's by himself, but he's holding animals, like therapy animals and babies. And the babies aren't there for him. He's learning how to nurture.
Well, good God, I don't want to end the show on that note. So, no, it's not.
No, I asked the question.
Yeah. So let me just do a follow-up question that will hopefully get us back into, right? Angels.
Yeah.
How does your husband handle you?
Oh, actually, you guys remind me a lot of my couple shit. Yeah. You probably get it, but that doesn't help the audience at all. Or, that's really nice you asked that. That's going to make him feel really good.
Well, of course. I mean, he's married to an angel incarnate. How?
Yes.
So I know his trauma. So how does he handle it so I can get to that place?
Yeah. He's also on his spiritual journey, which is very helpful. We're celebrating 20 years of marriage this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Together. Yeah.
Wow.
So we've been together longer than we haven't, honestly, just about. When we were first together, I was very strange, but I didn't really tell him all of my strangities, all of my weirdisms. But he knew that I would talk to animals, and he would know that I would occasionally say to my spoon, "Be good to me." I was just kind of a quirky little freak, right? And I didn't hold it back from him intentionally. My spiritual journey was more matched to raising my children and survival. I spent years as a public school teacher, and then I went into seminary. I was a minister, and we were just getting by. And there were years we were paycheck to paycheck. So there's not a whole lot of, let's meditate. There's what's your that. But as we were, and we fought, we had a hard marriage. As we were better to each other, and our lives got better, and as I was better to myself, I got more honest with him, and I trusted him. And I want to say that to people, because I think what was in my mind was, if I tell people who I am, they're going to go away. If I tell people who I am, they're going to make fun of me. Hey, you know what? That happened. People do make fun of me, and people have gone away. But I'm also employed by Source. And so everything that's happened, none of that has truly harmed me. None of it. And I have learned that when you are in this, like we said, haptic holograph, You are creating it. And so with me and Ed, my husband, what we do is we communicate. And if it's getting too weird, well, we get into the 3D a little bit. We go to the movies. We have a hot dog, right? We just live. And he is the most supportive person because he's real. And you know what? I just read the room. I can't always say, oh my gosh, I had a conversation with aliens last night. I can't always tell him that because we got to pay rent next week.
Yeah.
So we're just living through it. But I also know, and he knows, that there's sometimes that I'm kissing him and I get a flash of who he was in the last lifetime.
That'll make it interesting.
Yeah.
He knows it too. And I am so glad that we have that for each other.
I could talk to you literally for hours on end. So
Me too, guy.
We've got to get you back on the show without
Absolutely,
question.
yes.
So before we go, if someone wanted to dive deeper into who you are and the things that you can do, and I know we're going to because we need to know the future, but
No.
how can someone connect with you?
Well, I have a podcast that I'm really proud of, and it's called Angel Talk, and it's where podcasts are. But I really enjoy it because I feel like it's 20 or 25 minutes where people can just go on a walk and listen and feel love. So I invite people to listen to that.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And then if you'd like to go further and have a conversation, I have a website. It's my name, rachelcorpus.com. And I teach some workshops sometimes, and I do sessions. This is my life. I don't do anything else. Hi, I'm an angel. This is it.
Well, you're amazing.
Thank you. You two are wonderful, and I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Thanks for tuning in to New Reality Awakening. If this episode sparked something for you, there's so much more waiting. Catch all episodes of this show and dozens of others raising the vibration of the planet at newrealitytv.com. See you there.